Green Mountain Power has over 4,000 Tesla Powerwalls in Vermont. August 23, 2022. Green Mountain Power has a virtual power plant consisting of more than 4,000 Tesla Powerwalls in Vermont. It not only increases the amount of renewable energy from the electrical grid and maintains its stability, but also saves millions of dollars. Green Mountain Power is an energy transformation company providing power and innovative products and services to 3/4 of Vermont. The company is changing the traditional electrical grid to focus on energy storage and consumption through batteries across the state. In particular, Tesla Powerwalls are used for this. Located in the homes of residents of the state, which support the electrical grid when the need arises. The goal is to buy less dirty energy from the regional grid and fight climate change. Over time, as we invest in this and develop it with our customers, we will literally create a Vermont that can withstand all of the impacts of the climate crisis because we have decentralized all aspects of the grid, said GMP CEO Mari McClure. According to WCAX via Electrek, if there is a power outage, power remains on by extracting power from Tesla Powerwalls installed in households across the state. When the greater grid is affected by weather, the local resilient efforts can keep everyone safe, warm, powered up, said McClure. GMP is no stranger to this, as their program has been running for several years now. McClure said there are over 4,000 Powerwalls online, which is really impressive. This VPP saved over $3 million in 2021 alone. In addition, almost $1.5 million has already been saved due to one event in 2022. Such successes have shown great benefits and stimulated development as quickly as possible. McClure said that GMP is looking to expand, so it contacted Liberty Utilities in New Hampshire about program rollout, as well as utilities out in Wyoming and Idaho. In addition, in Vermont, GMP is in the process of planning microgrids in Brattleboro, Rochester, and Grafton. Source reposted and summarized from Eva Fox at Tasmanian. My take: the virtual power plants are going to become a big deal in the near future. Tesla semi-production interior teased. August 23, 2022. If Elon Musk's recent comments are any indication, the Tesla Semi will be entering production later this year. Interestingly enough, the EV maker has updated the vehicle's official webpage, including, among other things, what appears to be a teaser of the Tesla Semi production interior. Needless to say, it looks fantastic, but might also be polarizing for some. The interior of the Tesla Semi has been pretty elusive since the vehicle's first iteration was unveiled in late 2017. Back then, the Semi's interior featured a lot of the original Model 3's elements, from its dashboard to its driver displays. Tesla's updated webpage for the Semi featured some changes from the original Semi's interior, and some of them are noteworthy, if the new images are indicative of the final iteration of the all-electric Class 8 truck. The Tesla semi-production interior will feature some elements that seem to have been taken from both the new Model S and Model X and the Model 3 and Model Y, what remained from the original prototypes. However, was the Semi's center driving position, which provides drivers with a commanding view of the road. Immediately noticeable in the new Tesla semi-production interior teaser images was the vehicle's steering wheel, which seems to be inspired by the new Model S and Model X, similar to the flagship sedan and SUV. The Semi's steering wheel features several likely touch buttons for functions like the turn signals and the horn. Also interesting is the apparent lack of stalks in the steering column, so changing gears and accessing features like the wipers would likely require a small learning curve. The Semi also seems poised to be equipped with dual phone chargers, which would likely be appreciated as drivers would be able to charge their phone and possibly a spare battery pack at the same time. Overall, it is likely that the Tesla Semi is already nearing, if not already on, its production version, and considering the increasing number of the trucks being spotted across the United States, it does seem like the Semi may be starting its deliveries later this year. Considering the truck's stalkless driving system and likely touch-based steering wheel controls. However, some drivers may find themselves adjusting a bit before getting the hang of driving the Class 8 all-electric truck. Source reposted and summarized from Simon Alvarez at Tesla RT. My take: the Tesla Semi will change the trucking industry forever. Tesla FSD Beta v10.69 release notes indicate huge progress. August 23, 2022. In FSD Beta v10.69, the Tesla Autopilot team has done a really great job providing a solution to some of the challenges drivers have had in the past. In addition, the new version features a number of driving improvements, further enhancing the owner driving experience. While we have already received the first rave reviews of FSD Beta v10.69, we have not had access to the release note yet. At TeslaScope, Twitter posted it, and we can see that the team has done a really great job providing a solution to some of the challenges drivers have had in the past. Earlier, the director of Autopilot software at Tesla, Ashik Eluswamy, shared some important insights into how some of the issues were resolved. In addition, the new version features a number of driving improvements, further enhancing the owner driving experience. Full self-driving beta the 5th 10.69 added a new deep lane guidance module to the vector lanes neural network, which fuses features extracted from the video streams with course map data, i.e. lane counts and lane connectivities. This architecture achieves a 44% lower error rate on lane topology compared to the previous model, enabling smoother control before lanes and their connectivities becomes visually apparent. This provides a way to make every autopilot drive as good as someone driving their own commute, yet in a sufficiently general way that adapts for road changes. Improved overall driving smoothness, without sacrificing latency, through better modeling of system and actuation latency in trajectory planning. Trajectory Planner now independently accounts for latency from steering commands to actual steering actuation, as well as acceleration and brake commands to actuation. This results in a trajectory that is a more accurate model of how the vehicle would drive. This allows better downstream controller tracking and smoothness while also allowing a more accurate response during harsh main VUAs. Improved unprotected left turns with more appropriate speed profile when approaching and exiting median crossover regions. In the presence of high-speed cross-traffic Chuck Cook-style unprotected left turns. This was done by allowing optimizable initial jerk to mimic the harsh pedal press by a human when required to go in front of high-speed objects. Also improved lateral profile approaching such safety regions to allow for better pose that aligns well for exiting the region. Finally, improved interaction with objects that are entering or waiting inside the median crossover region with better modeling of their future intent. Added control for arbitrary low-speed moving volumes from occupancy network. This also enables finer control for more precise object shapes that cannot be easily represented by a cuboid primitive. This required predicting velocity at every 3D voxel. We may now control for slow-moving UFOs. Upgraded occupancy network to use video instead of images from single time step. This temporal context allows the network to be robust to temporary occlusions and enables prediction of occupancy flow. Also, improved ground truth with semantics-driven outlier rejection, hard example mining, and increasing the dataset size by 2.4x. Upgraded to a new two-stage architecture to produce object kinematics, e.g. velocity. Acceleration. Yaw rate where network compute is allocated O objects instead of O space. This improved velocity estimates for far-away crossing vehicles by 20%, while using 1/10 of the compute. Increased smoothness for protected right turns by improving the association of traffic lights with slip lanes versus yield signs with slip lanes. This reduces false slowdowns when there are no relevant objects present and also improves yielding position when they are present. Reduced false slowdowns near crosswalks. This was done with improved understanding of pedestrian and bicyclist intent based on their motion. Improved geometry error of ego-relevant lanes by 34% and crossing lanes by 21% with a full vector lanes neural network update. Information bottlenecks in the network architecture were eliminated by increasing the size of the per-camera feature extractors. Video modules. Internals of the autoregressive decoder. And by adding a hard attention mechanism which greatly improved the fine position of lanes. Improved geometry error of ego-relevant lanes by 34% and crossing lanes by 21% with a full vector lanes neural network update. Information bottlenecks in the network architecture were eliminated by increasing the size of the per-camera feature extractors. Video modules. Internals of the autoregressive decoder. And by adding a hard attention mechanism which greatly improved the fine position of lanes. Made speed profile more comfortable when creeping for visibility. To allow for smoother stops when protecting for potentially occluded objects. Improved recall of animals by 34% by doubling the size of the auto-labeled training set. Enabled creeping for visibility at any intersection where objects might cross ego's path, regardless of presence of traffic controls. Improved accuracy of stopping position in critical scenarios with crossing objects, by allowing dynamic resolution in trajectory optimization to focus more on areas where finer control is essential. Increased recall of forking lanes by 36% by having topological tokens participate in the attention operations of the autoregressive decoder and by increasing the loss applied to fork tokens during training. Improved velocity error for pedestrians and bicyclists by 17%, especially when ego is making a turn, by improving the onboard trajectory estimation used as input to the neural network. Improved recall of object detection, eliminating 26% of missing detections for far-away crossing vehicles by tuning the loss function used during training and improving label quality. Improved object future path prediction in scenarios with high yaw rate by incorporating yaw rate and lateral motion into the likelihood estimation. This helps with objects turning into or away from ego's lane, especially in intersections or cut-in scenarios. Improved speed when entering highway by better handling of upcoming map speed changes, which increases the confidence of merging onto the highway. Reduced latency when starting from a stop by accounting for lead vehicle jerk. Enabled faster identification of red light runners by evaluating their current kinematic state against their expected braking profile. Source reposted and summarized from Eva Fox at Tasmanian. My take getting closer with every new version. You are watching an epic historical event unfold in real time. The new federal EV incentive plan in a nutshell. August 23, 2022. Over the past few years, electric vehicles have been among the most difficult vehicles to buy. Tesla has, at times, had lead times many seasons long, longer than multiple months on the vehicles it builds. And this was without any federal incentive. Vehicles from Ford, Toyota, VW, Hyundai, and other brands that offered vehicles with a plug could not come close to meeting demand. Vehicles with a plug were in such high demand that $20,000 markups on vehicles like the Toyota RAV4 Prime plug-in were easy to find on social media. People have been buying any EV they can get their hands on. Thus, dealers jack up the prices. In light of this unprecedented demand for EVs, the government felt it needed to take action. To help create demand, your political party got what it wanted. The new incentive plan replaced the old federal incentive plan that almost nobody could follow. Congresses going back to the days of George Bush have been throwing money at electrified vehicles. And no president's administration missed the party. Funny how the presidents always get the credit. But only Congress can write and pass tax laws or spend money. The most important part of the plan was that it was tied to taxes. Or manufacturing numbers. Or something. Fun fact, the last EV tax bill was passed by a Republican Congress and signed by a Republican president. Democrat voters were furious, because it was exactly the same plan a Democratic Congress had sent to a Democratic president to sign a few years earlier. Thank goodness we have this new plan that makes everyone in both parties happy. A definite answer on which vehicles qualify with that old plan. This manufacturer was in, this one out, and this one temporarily in some sort of multi-quarter transition plan that phased out the federal income tax incentive. The Bolt was in, then it was on a transition. Then it was out, but not for sale anyway. Now it's back, but we are not sure if it's in or out of the program. It should be in, right? After all, the Bolt is made in America by a company based in America, staffed by card-carrying union Americans, that the American taxpayers bailed out to the tune of billions not long ago. Yet, the all-American Bolt not on this list of vehicles that qualify. Even Consumer Reports does not know which vehicles will qualify, saying, "We don't know which vehicles will meet the battery portion of the tax credit." If the smart folks at Consumer Reports can't follow a government program designed to help consumers, you know it was a success. Government agency helps clarify the plan. Consumer Reports and Green Car Reports may not know exactly which cars qualify and which don't. But the government does. For example, it has a handy chart on its IRS website listing the Chevy Bolt and the Tesla Model Y saying they do qualify. Except they don't in 2022. Which is the year we are currently in the midst of. A simple plan you need a decoder to understand. A handy vehicle identification number decoder that is its actual name has been created to assist shoppers. Of course, you don't know the VIN of a car you order, so you won't know if the car qualifies until after you buy it. Wait several months. Then take delivery. It will be fun if all that takes place over, say, February, March. And then the April tax deadline comes and goes. Maybe your car qualified. Maybe not. Excuse us. Did we say car? Silly us. We meant trucks or SUVs. Cars are dead now. No more huge expensive trucks and SUVs. We red-blooded Americans don't want fancy cars and big expensive trucks and SUVs in the plan. Right. So only $80 trucks and SUVs qualify. Because we all know that a $79.999 truck is what every hard-working contractor drives. Sedans, hatchbacks, wagons, and other vehicles can only cost $55 and still get the free cash on the dash. So be certain that after tomorrow no automaker would ever be crazy enough to build a sedan, hatchback, wagon, or other vehicle. From here forward, everything is either an SUV or a truck. The folks who wanted a vehicle fleet with a smaller vehicle footprint got exactly what they didn't want. This plan shows dealers who is boss by giving them the money. If there is one thing we can all be certain of, it is that over the past 3 years, federal EV incentives seem to benefit car dealers the most. After all, if a car comes with a $7.500 tax break, why not mark it up by, say, $7.500? Nobody likes the idea of the dealers being the beneficiaries of tax plans. So the government changed the way the new incentives work. With the past plan, you had to file your taxes to get the benefit. Now you can transfer the benefit directly to the dealer at the time of purchase. That will show the dealers who is boss. Right. Hard-working smart folk need not apply. If you work hard and are successful, this new plan is not for you. There are income redistribution clauses all over this plan. Do you and your spouse earn over $300 this year? Shame. You are no longer allowed to be part of our government's program intended to help cool the planet. Because your government despises you. If you only earn $299 together, you are fine. There are qualifications for how successful and hard-working a single filer can be and still help save the planet. Ask your tax preparer to help you. You horrible success story. The plan takes effect now. Or in 2023. But for sure by 2024. Only some cars in 2022 will qualify. Or maybe it's 2023. We do know that the new plan says something about 2024 being important. That's right. The plan doesn't just take effect right away. It sort of phases in. Then matures. It then adds some new requirements or something. Sound familiar? The EV tax plan to end all plans. Thankfully, this will be the last EV incentive plan ever. Unless Congress shifts its leadership party in about 3 months. At which point the whole program could be scrapped. Or updated. Or expanded. Source reposted and summarized from John Gorham at Talk News. My take: this bill is super complex with a lot of ifs, ands or buts.